I think Ferguson became infamous for police violence against black people, but this is not just a Ferguson issue. It's kind of an issue in the entire United States. For Booney, it wasn't surprising that the police shot a black man. This has been happening over and over again. About a year before Mike Brown was shot, her own cousin was shot, a college student, about 20 times by the police. So I think what was shocking to her and what was shocking to us was the response of the people in Ferguson. They went to the streets and they made people pay attention. And I think that was, to her, she was kind of amazed that people were finally taking this issue seriously.
AHKEEM is a coming-of-age story about a black teenage girl in St. Louis named AJ Shelton. We meet her just as she's being expelled from the public school system for something relatively trivial, and we follow her through 2 years of an experimental school program and really kind of see her grow up and mature, see her first love. We see her grapple with the deaths of her friends. We see her internalize some of the events around Ferguson, Missouri, which is just up the road from where she lives. And ultimately, we sort of see her triumph and succeed in a system that's sort of set up against her.
I want you to keep on going to school no matter what. I want you to go with a positive thinking.
I can't do that.
Okay, well,
I'm telling you now. I can't do it.
You still have to continue your education. I don't want you to get comfortable around here in this house and thinking that this neighborhood and the things that are around here is the way of life, and it's not. It's so much bigger and better things out here, you wouldn't even believe it. You would not believe. You step off this block and might see something different.
So for AHKEEM's really kind of the heart of the film is this love story. She meets a boy named Antonio, falls in love, and we kind of get to see that love story blossom. Later on, she finds out she's pregnant, and that happens just as Mike Brown is shot in Ferguson, just down the road. And this really is kind of a huge moment for her, where she has to grapple with what it means to raise a black boy in the United States right now. So, kind of at its heart, she's trying to make a better life for herself and her son.
Well, I think we knew from the outset that the strategy of the film was going to be to follow her through the course of this high school program. So at the beginning of the film, we see her expelled from the public school and she goes into an alternative program. And I think at the outset, we really wanted to sort of follow her and see if she was successful and see if that was a positive place for her. I think that we decided to go very deep with the character, and we were really very invested in her personally. And this is a very singular story about her and about her experiences. But she's certainly emblematic of thousands of young black girls in America, and a lot of the challenges that she faces and a lot of the systemic bias that she confronts is true of so many people in our country. And I hope it really kind of opens some door and sheds some light on all of the work that we need to do as a country and as a global community to address bias and address social injustice in general.
You're not an old lady. You ain't got no kids. You ain't got no responsibilities, none of that. You got so many options out here. So many options. Everybody know Booney. Everybody know Booney. What about knowing Booney when you turn on a TV channel and see Booney doing something positive? You smart. You could be a journalist or anything.
I could be a comedian.
You could be whatever you want to be.
Eddie Murphy.
You could be all you could be.
Really, over the course of 3 years of production, developed a very strong relationship with her and a really strong partnership in telling the film. And I think in hindsight, she said a lot of really gratifying things to us that being part of this film sort of gave her, some additional drive to kind of continue pressing through school, through other challenges in her life, that, she felt like she had an outlet for expression, that she felt like she had a community within just the production of the film that was really rooting for her, really kind of keeping her, focused on school and while there were just a lot of other really serious challenges in her life. I mean, I think a good film can be so many different things. I think a good film is something that has the ability to surprise you and make you, feel something in one way or another. I think for us, it's really all about having a great narrative, having, rich characters, and just being immersed in another world.
Yeah, and I think a great film is a film that you get lost in, you get swept up into, and that hopefully you learn something important at the end that you can kind of take. You have this like 90 minutes of escape, but hopefully you come out with these new insights and new experiences to rejoin the world in a better way.